Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk about and review a few books. These books are very important to me. They've helped me a lot, and so I thought I would talk about them in an ASMR style video and tell you a little bit about them and why I love them. Not that long ago, I was feeling a little lost, sort of like one of those existential crises where I was very unsure of what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something. I had an idea of some of the things that interested me, some of the things I might want to pursue. But it wasn't just about what I wanted to do, it was about not knowing how to even go about doing those things, the steps that I should take. Everything just seemed very random, not organized, and I was very confused about things. I don't know if this has ever happened to you before, but for me, that the books that I'm going to show you today, they came to me at the perfect time. It was an accident. They found me, I guess. So, as you know, from being watching ASMR videos, I do as well. We spend a lot of time on YouTube. Every so often, I will watch other types of videos that are not ASMR videos, like relaxing music or TED Talks, or occasionally some other kind of review or something like that. So I had spent a few weeks just really feeling confused, wanting something else, wanting something more. And I was watching YouTube, and on the corner, like the side where it suggests videos, there was a TED Talk that said designing your life. And I found that to be intriguing because that's what I was searching for essentially. So I clicked on it, and there was a TED Talk by a Stanford professor. His name is Bill Burnett. I'm going to link in the description box the TED Talk and the books if you're interested in checking them out. Everything that this professor talked about made perfect sense. It was exactly what I was looking for at the time. And I loved that there was a lot of research behind it, that it was a class that they actually taught at Stanford, and the students reported absolutely loving the class and finding it very useful. And a lot of things clicked for me in that TED Talk. And the talk was based on a book that was written by that professor and one of his associates. So the talk intrigued me enough to say that I would like to buy the book, so I did. And so I'm going to show you the book and go through it a little bit, explain it, and maybe like review it a little bit. although I think you guys already know that I love it. So this is the book, and you can see that the title is the same as the TED Talk because the talk is based on the book, Designing Your Life. And it is a New York Times bestseller, which does not surprise me. And the two professors are Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. And you can see at the top that there's a quote from the New York Times that says, "Life has questions, they have answers." And the subtext for the title is How to Build a Well-Lived and Joyful Life. The book itself, I do think it's beautiful. And it also has a great texture to it. It's very papery but high quality. You can probably hear that feeling. Just the slightest bit of texture. And I really love this like burst of circles. So I'm going to read the back before I talk about it a little bit. It says, there is a quote at the top, like a testimonial, that says, "The career book of the next decade, the go-to book that is read as a rite of passage whenever someone is ready to create a life that he or she loves." And it says, "What exactly is a well-designed life? It is a rich portfolio of experiences, adventures, and failures that teach us important lessons, that result in hardships that make us stronger, that help us know ourselves better. It is a life of achievements and satisfactions." In Designing Your Life, Bill Burnett and Dave Evans put forth the questions about life that we all ask about one's meaning and purpose in the world. Questions such as, how do I find a job that I like or maybe even love? How do I balance my career with my family? How can I make a difference in the world? We all want the answers to these questions. We're just not sure how to go about finding them, or where or how to begin. And we feel that we don't have the tools to find our way. Designers love questions, but what they really love is reframing questions. The reframing for the question, what do I want to be when I grow up, is, what do I want to grow into? This is what Designing Your Life promises to show us. How to find what we want to do now at any age, and to answer who we want to grow into tomorrow. And they have a couple other like testimonials and stuff like that. So the basis of the book is that these two guys, they have backgrounds in design, like engineering design, and they use a lot of the theories and the things that they came up with in those situations to translate into designing your actual life, like what you want to do, how you want to do it, and lay out the steps for making it happen. Inside the book, it talks more about them, which I think is extremely interesting. And so I'll read you like the jacket of the book. It says, "Bill Burnett and Dave Evans The Silicon Valley innovators and Stanford University design educators, in their hugely successful course, Designing Your Life, have helped thousands change the way they live. Burnett and Evans believe that in order to change, people need a process, a design process, to help them figure out what they want and how to create it. In this long-awaited, must-have book, Burnett and Evans make clear to us, step by step, how to think like a designer and how to design and build a life at any age in which we can thrive. Designers don't think their way forward, they build their way forward. Rather than dreaming up a lot of fun fantasies that have no relationship to the real world or the real you, they show us how to build a future brick by brick, how to approach our own life design challenges with the same kind of curiosity and creativity that resulted in the creation of the light bulb, the printing press, and the internet. And they give us the tools and show us certain simple mindsets and how to use them to practice life design in your life. And inside the book, the contents, we have the introduction, of course, start where you are, building a compass, wayfinding, getting unstuck, design your lives, prototyping, how to not get a job or how not to get a job, designing your dream job, choosing happiness, failure immunity, building a team, and the conclusion. The concepts in this book, I think, really, they spoke to me not just because it's what I was going through at the time in terms of the questions that the book really answers, such as what do I want to do and how do I want to do it, but because, like they said, there's actually a process that you follow, that they walk you through, and that was very valuable to me because previous to reading the book and seeing the TED Talk, what I was feeling was chaos, like very chaotic energy. I didn't have a plan, I didn't have a process, and that in and of itself was stressful for me. I feel like one of the most frustrating things to feel is like you want something but you don't know how to get there, like you don't even know where to start. And that's why I feel very fortunate that the book or the talk showed up on my suggested feeds when it did, because I was feeling so scattered and just very lost. And I think this is a very important video and book for anyone. And the other book, which is like related to this, and this has been my favorite part so far, is this right here, which is the Designing Your Life workbook. And it's a framework for building a life you can thrive in. And so it says that it's obviously based on the book that I just showed you, and the best-selling book from the founders of the Stanford Life Design Lab. And it's the essential interactive companion to the book, where you can dig deeper into your life design with innovative option-generating tools and exercises. Things like a work, play, love, health dashboard to help you find balance, questions to help you articulate your views, a good time journal to discover strengths and interests, fold out graph paper for mind mapping, and worksheets to help you ideate alternative futures. And it says whether you're a recent graduate, mid-career, or contemplating that big move, or you just want to make your current situation a little bit better, this roadmap will help you build a joyful life that always holds the possibility of surprise. This has been such a help and a game changer for me personally, because I think, and I don't know if they did this on purpose, but because they're Stanford professors, it wouldn't surprise me. There's such a, I think it incorporates all the different learning styles, and like, so the video obviously is visual and auditory when you watch the TED Talk, and then reading the other book is also visual, and you're kind of taking in the information in a different way. And then this workbook is more hands-on and kinesthetic, which I think is very, very helpful to me and to a lot of other people. So I actually bought this to give to someone, so I'm going to show you the inside because there's not any like writing on it. So you have this elastic that you pull off, and the cover is a like it's plastic, but it has that see-through like quality. And I'll just give you a little bit of an idea of what's in it. But it's all very hands-on and walking you through the process. The contents here are the introduction, accepting where you are, building your compass, the good time journal, annotating your good time journal, getting unstuck, creating Odyssey plans, framing a good question, prototyping your plans, building your team, and trusting your inner voice. So it will talk about accepting where you currently are, and there's all different kinds of exercises where you will fill in like what you engage with the most and how much of your energy it takes out of you, and if it's positive or negative energy. There are end of the week reflections, like which activities flowed effortlessly for you, which activities drained energy from you. And then there is some journaling that you can do in here. And then there are questions about your activities, your environment, your interactions, different objects, what kind of people you're involved with, your previous experiences. There's naming and reframing outcomes. So you would do these brainstorms where you would come up with a bunch of ideas, go for quantity, not quality, build off the ideas of others, and then you would answer some questions like, how many ideas did you come up with? Which one would you do if money was no object? What idea would you want to tackle first? And then it just keeps going and going. There's all different kinds of hands-on activities, talking about failures and how you can learn from them. And I personally think that the fact that you're actually following steps and writing things out and answering like question prompts and things, if you're like me, I actually finally felt like I was making some headway in what I wanted to do. Because I'm not the kind of person that, the one thing I don't like is a blank piece of paper. It's very stressful to me. I like following a roadmap or a plan or like a pre existing plan. I don't make something from nothing very easily. I like to have, I think, like to know where I'm going or have like a guide or a partner or something like that. So, again, I will link the TED Talk and the books, the book and the workbook down below. If you have any questions for me or about my experience or about the exercises, I'd be happy to answer them. And I would love to hear what everyone thinks about the TED Talk and the concepts in there and whether or not it helped you or changed your perspective on anything or gave you any aha moments or anything like that. So I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon.